reversal. You ready? What's up, guys? My name is Scooter. Welcome to my podcast. I'm interviewing my good friend Slumped, Weston. What's going on, man? Tell me about yourself.
What's up, guys? My name's Slumped Beats. I'm out here killing it. Little role reversal going on. Oh shit! All right, we're getting into
This
it.
is hard backwards, man. I don't know how to be you.
I don't know how to be you either. I don't know if I could be anyone. I just got to be Scooter.
Mm-hmm.
It's too hard to try to be other people.
Oh yeah.
It's like that's a lot of thing going on in our society right now.
Yeah, it's a big thing, dude. Everyone's trying to be someone else right now.
I think that's with if you look at all the people that have gotten famous through music or just social media, it's because they're reaching out and doing something that nobody else is doing. And then it's kind of funny. You see all these trends of these maybe 2, 3 people that will blow up with this one look or one kind of style. And then you'll see just a freaking trainload of people just trying to like ride on the back of that and just,
And it always ends up devolving into something that's not good anymore and ruins the whole purpose of what it was in the first place. Like, I don't even.
You see it a lot. I think it ruins the music industry. It is ruining the music industry right now.
Mhm.
There's kind of this wave of this kind of goth emo, hate your life, kind of sad boy music going on, and I'm not a fan.
I have to admit I do like the goth sad boy scene, but I think, like what I was saying, it has devolved. It was good when people like.
When it was organic.
Exactly.
And
When people like Lil Peep were still around, it was organic, and he was actually making music that was believable. And then
now you have these 14-year-olds
exactly.
with freaking eyeliner around their eyes, these chokers just screaming while they're in their parents' house,
Exactly.
like up in the not
exactly. Yeah, they're rapping about things they've never seen, never done.
And now that music is such a anyone can do it, right? You just need a computer with GarageBand now, and
Mhm.
you need to go get a mic. And it's kind of like, I mean, YouTube has made it so YouTube has made it so much easier for these people to just, like with no resources that 20 years ago people would have to have or build throughout years and years of relationships, which is cool. I mean, that's something we're kind of doing right now with the podcast, just putting it out there. But
right.
I don't know if I really like where the scene's going.
I don't know. It's are we old men now? Is that what we're doing right now? Are we old guys just like, music used to be good, but like I don't feel like we are, because it really seems like things have gotten worse. But
I feel like, I don't know, it's a happy medium. I mean, yeah, you look back on it, but it is kind of our age group as well that's setting those trends. So
it's true.
It's our age group that's setting those trends because our age group either has the money or resources or relationships to do it. And then it's all these 12 to 16-year-olds that are trying to copy that and live that out. I was coming out of Smith's the other day, bro.
Mhm.
And this 15, 16-year-old who was pushing carts and cleaning up the parking lot area, this kid had baby blue hair. And I shit you not,
man.
parts it down the side, straight to the eyebrow. Literally looked like Little Peep. And I was just looking at this kid and I was like, you're trying so hard right now.
Right, yeah, trying so hard to stand out, but ironically what you're doing is just looking like everyone else that's trying to stand out.
And yeah, and then you just get
I think
flushed in the funnel.
What we're lacking today is authenticity, and I think that's why everything seems kind of worse, is because it's not authentic anymore. And I mean, how can a 14-year-old kid with blue hair be authentic? You know what I mean? Like, it's just really not possible at that stage in his life, and that's why I'm not even interested in hearing all that SoundCloud whatever anymore.
I got on SoundCloud the other day because I'm an Apple Music guy. I just write on my phone. It connects to everything. It's really nice. And I got onto SoundCloud and I was laughing so hard because I search up one song and then all these it was like just a freaking wormhole of these people. Like it sounded like they were recording it on their computer with no mic, just like yelling into it. And they had like thousands and thousands of views. Like one of them had like 60,000 and it sounded horrible. And I was like, what is life?
I know what's funny is I have a story about that. The first song that I ever recorded, engineered, ever did numbers, I think we did like maybe 25, 30K, recorded on my MacBook Pro's external microphone. and a headset into GarageBand.
That's so awesome. Kind of getting into that because I don't think we ever got there. We kind of just started talking. Which you showed up a little bit. We were catching up. We haven't seen each other in a while. But who are you? What do you do? How did we meet? Like, you know?
Yeah. All right. My name is Slumped Beats, Weston. My friends call me. I'm a producer. I'm a software engineer, web designer. I mean, what else? What else am I?
I don't know. I just know you as Mod God.
There you go. Yeah.
I had to bring it up,
Yeah.
dude.
All right. There we go. I guess
You're
that's
still
a
in
good,
my phone. My contact in my phone. I
oh,
gotta
that's a
show
good
you.
transition right into this next.
Look at this, dude. Straight up.
No,
Mod God
dude,
with a cloud of
no. I
smoke.
don't know if I respect.
Okay. Well, that's not really how we met. How did we meet?
I think we met partying, honestly. I think we met through the party scene.
I think we did.
Yeah, I literally think I
I
remember.
was such a shithead in high school.
I was
dude.
such a shithead too. I think I remember the night I met you though, and I think we were at I'm gonna just call her some girl's house, big huge house up in the hills, pool in the backyard, trees, hella late at night. Charles was there, good old
Charlie,
Charles.
shout
Charlie,
out.
yeah, shout out, dude. And you literally walked right up to me and were like, "What up, man? My name's I think you went by Terrell at the time." And we're like, "What up, man? This is my name. Like, how's it going?" And I was just like, "Dude, who is this kid? All right, like, I guess we're kicking it now." And then we ended up just chilling. I think we smoked some bowls, and then I got your number, and I think we just kicked it from there.
I think I honestly I don't know if I really recall that night. To be honest,
I am not surprised that you don't recall that night, if I recall correctly.
was I drunk?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, yeah, you were, yeah,
Okay.
you were there.
Okay, cool. Well, the party scene that was pretty gnarly. I remember we would party every day of the week because so many of us never really went to school, or we went to alternative high schools where being present wasn't necessarily necessary.
Yeah.
So I mean, Tuesday afternoon, bro, we're partying that night.
Yeah. Oh,
Thursday afternoon, we're partying that
yeah.
night.
On a Tuesday afternoon, we'd be lucky if we hadn't been partying since Monday night.
That's
like,
true.
I mean, I never went to an alternative high school, and honestly, I did good in school. I think I graduated with a 3.7.
Where'd you
and
go?
An honors
Alta?
diploma. Yeah, went to Alta High School.
Damn.
But it was. I remember getting letters in the mail that were like, "You've missed more days of school than you've been present for," and then I would.
That's
go
why
and-
I had to leave Alta is
Mhm.
because I went there for 1 quarter. So I went to a private school. The private school didn't really like me, and then I did some classes online, and then figured I should probably go to normal school, hang out with some homies. So I decided to go to Alta, and in my first quarter of Alta, I missed so many days of snowboarding that they're like, you can't go to school here if this is kind of like how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I dipped out of Alta and I just did online school until I realized that there was that alternative high school. And then that's when I jumped in the alternative high school scene. To explain what alternative high school is for people that don't know, it's a school that works with kids that are either young adults, parents, have to support other family members, and work jobs that are normal hours. So they have classes late at night. They have classes that cater to people to where they can bring their kids into class. Or you have people like me who just want to snowboard every day, so you can do night classes. And they also allow you to do packets, and then which you can meet with teachers, maybe once or twice a week to ask questions throughout the packet. And then once you finish the packet, you take a final test, you get the credits, and then it's actually less credits than a normal high school because they don't have like PE classes and music classes,
a lot of dumb.
like the dumb classes that don't make sense, right? It's all like your core classes. So you can finish quite a bit earlier. So I actually graduated when I was just turning 17, like right after like my 17th birthday. I remember, maybe it was before actually. I think I was maybe 16 when I graduated.
I feel like you could have been, because I feel like when I met you, you were either just graduating or graduating, and I remember you being, you're a couple years younger than me, so I thought that was cool.
It was game over though, dude. Once I graduated, I was like, and then I lived on my own. No. I think I was at my mom's.
Oh yeah.
My mom had that apartment, dude.
That place was the best, dude.
The amount of things we did in that apartment building.
Oh man.
We had like so many people living there at once, and then that's where we started the e-cig company out of. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Out of
yeah.
the garage, we had like the full
Literally right in
setup.
the garage,
We
dude.
had like the blenders and everything. So when the e-cig scene was like first blowing up, we thought it'd be a good idea to get involved, which it was. We just were too
young.
and didn't have enough money and resources to
Mhm.
really make it. The problem was we were too young, so when we talked to people, they didn't take us
seriously.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it happened. I kept going for probably till I was 21, and people still weren't taking me seriously when I would call them and ask them for things. Like, I remember one time I called this guy for some manufacturing, and he was just being a dick, and I have no idea why. Like, I was just like, yeah, I'm an e-cig company. I'm just looking to change manufacturing, like do it out of house. You know what I mean? He goes, yeah, I could do it for you, but I need a minimum order of 100,000 bottles. I'm like, dude,
You're like,
what do you mean and his minimums on his website were
you
five.
fucking psycho.
5,000 was his minimum on his website, but because it was juice, he wanted 100K minimum. Dude, I don't think anyone but the biggest of the big juice companies are doing 100K of each flavor.
All I remember was I was, I think, 16, 15. I don't know. And you came over and you were building your own e-cig, like your own like box mod, but you're like building it. And this was before like kits came out to build it, and like you were legitimate. I was like, okay, this is sick. And you're like, yo, what are your thoughts about selling e-cig juice? And I was like, okay, I'm game. And at the time I was running that landscape company and had some things going, so that's probably why you approached me with it.
I was just gonna do it, dude. It would have been anyone if I wasn't.
Okay.
If honestly, like, you fit perfect because like you've always had the business mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I wasn't friends with you at the time or didn't know you, I still would have done it.
Okay, right.
For sure.
I respect. But yeah, dude, when we got into that was, I remember placing that first order, and then it all came in this huge box of like 1,000 bottles. Like we had gallons and gallons of flavoring, and we were just like scratching our heads. We're like,
what do we do?
We just spent all of our money that we had at that age, just
God,
like
that was
on
like paychecks too, dude.
Dude,
like,
it was like $800 or $900
Yeah.
or something that we just ordered, and I remember friends coming over and just being like, "Oh my god, that's so much e-juice," and like freaking out. And we would sit in the garage and just smoke weed and like make all these different flavors and just have all our friends try them. And my mom gave us the garage, and so we just like. My mom was so chill at that house, dude.
So chill.
There's cats in there.
I was like, dude, I swear I just heard something meow at me. I thought I was straight losing it.
Oh, that's funny.
God.
We had the like couches in there and all these chairs, and then we had this table, like little lab setup that we made.
It was so sick.
And God, good times, dude.
Those were good. Dude, we literally would just get super stoned, like, dude, this might be a good flavor idea. Whip it up, try it. We're, oh, this is so bad. Just dump out a whole bottle, like a whole blender full of juice, and then try again. Eventually, we got some proper flavors, though.
And we made money with that, dude. I
made more money doing that than I did at my job at the time.
You continued it, though. Like, tell me more about that. Like, I don't really know exactly what you did because I moved to LA on that internship, and then, I don't know what I did.
We kind of had a falling out with everything, and then I remember approaching you and saying, hey, I want to keep going with the juice company. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
said, I just want to make sure it's cool with you because we had thought of everything together, and I felt like I owed you that respect.
Do you remember what I said?
Yeah, I remember you said something along the lines of, like, I really respect you reaching out to me, and absolutely, of course, you can do it. We thought of it together.
Yeah, I was like,
your idea
fuck
as well.
yeah. I was like, I don't have the time because at that time, that's when I was really starting to get into video work. I remember.
I remember, yeah.
And I was spending money on cameras, and I was just kind of like going that direction. So I was like, dude, kill it. Run with it, like do your thing. And then, you went to like expos and shit.
Yeah, so I went out from there. So I pulled in my good buddy Kai Davis. He goes by Ender. He's a local musician. He's amazing. Dude.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah,
Ender.
Shout out Ender.
Let's get it.
So then me and him went hard, dude. We hired graphic designers for the labels. We got all new flavorings, got all high quality stuff. Started ordering in big buckets, like what are the Home Depot buckets?
Yeah, the 5 gallon.
5 gallon buckets. Started ordering everything in that. I bought like 25 blenders, I swear, dude. I think I only had like 10, but still, it felt like It felt like a million sitting
Were you
there.
doing this in your room, or where were you
Yeah,
doing
so
it?
I converted a room in my mom's basement. Ready? And
Shout out to moms,
shout out my
dude.
mom, dude. She financed a lot of this. Like she really went in for me on this one.
That's
But
gangster.
I completely like plastic sheeted the entire room like a Dexter kill room, dude. And
That's sick.
completely like I went in there with lab coats, booties, everything, dude. Completely like clean as it could possibly
I
be.
like that's where the industry needed to go,
Mm-hmm.
and like now you got all these things that are coming out with bad juices and these artificial flavorings that are causing lung problems
Yes.
and all this stuff, which that's something we were pretty strict on from the beginning.
Very
Like,
strict on. We any even rumors we heard, we quit using those flavors.
yeah,
I continued that too. So then we made all this juice, me and Kai, from that point. Where what was the next move?
you were setting up your room,
Setting
putting
up my room.
plastic everywhere, like Dexter style.
Oh yeah. So then from there,
Murder people in there.
yeah, I murdered a couple people in there, and then I would Kai would come and buy maybe like 5 to like 25 bottles of juice from me at a time. We would make it together, and I would give him like half price on everything. Like I was making, say, $3, and he was making like $2. So like I was cutting him in really heavy. You know what I mean? Basically, I gave Kai like 40% of the business.
Oh, that's what's up.
He,
So is he slinging it to?
he at this point he was slinging it heavy.
I think it's so funny too, because when we figured out we could make this juice and like per bottle make a profit of like $25
So
or what
much
it was,
per bottle.
we were like, dude, this is literally like we're slanging legal shit right
Mhm.
now, and it's making more money than.
Than people that were slinging illegal stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I was making more money than any like pot dealer that I knew at the time.
Dude, we were doing some crazy stuff, buying some crazy shit. I remember just like, dude, it was like, oh, we want a new Xbox.
Yeah.
Okay, we go get an
Dude,
Xbox. Like,
It was, and then so Kai's slinging all this stuff for me, dude. Me and Kai both we're making good money, and then eventually, so I moved out of where I was living at the time, and I moved in with another friend, Bam. Got an apartment together, and then so Bam was interested in actually buying into the company. So he bought in for I think 30%, 35%, which gave us some capital. So we used that capital to get booths at a festival. And
I remember this.
And this one didn't work out so well. But then so I guess we can go right into that.
you came over to my house, I think, after that, and you
Mhm.
were so pissed.
So pissed, dude. So salty.
What happened?
So okay, so we sign up for this festival. We get the biggest booth we can, the most space we can, everything, dude. We go all out because we know the people, everything. It's supposed to be set up in this amazing festival site in Oregon. Like everything's supposed to be great, just like beautiful. I don't know why I said Oregon. I don't think it was Oregon actually. And I don't remember that now. Don't hold me to that. But it was supposed to be amazing. And then last minute, dude, they switched the entire venue to somewhere completely different. And then from there it's just straight downhill. So then we get to the venue. They don't even have the booths at this point. The camping
You
was
paid for booths and they
Yeah.
didn't have booths?
Mhm, exactly. And then so we get there. They don't even have booths. They don't have tables for me. They don't have anything. They were supposed to have signage for me. They were supposed to have lighting. We were supposed to have a pavilion that was concreted and was like it was like 60 by 20 or something. It was supposed to be fat. Like it was supposed to be the biggest booth there. And they were supposed to
So
provide
did you have all these products with you? Like,
ton of product, a couple signs. They were supposed to provide everything else, no tables, nothing. And then also the big problem was that the festival site was supposed to be in the campground. Like, like what you'd expect. It's all in one area.
yeah, like the venue, and then you got booths around, and they have to walk through the booths to get to
Exactly.
everything.
So that's what you're expecting, right? And that's what they were advertising. They had the maps, and that's what I bought into. We get there with the new venue site. The campground is a bus ride away from the venue. It's walkable if you want to walk for half an hour. You know what I mean? So like if you're too drunk.
Wait, campground. So this is like a camping out multiple day festival?
Yeah, multiple day festival. I bought the booth for the whole weekend. And it was
What's the name of this festival?
I don't even want to give them any clout. I don't want to even shout out their name because
Okay. Well,
because
I would have got my money back. I would have been like, you showed me a map. You told me this. I paid this. I'm getting this. Give me my money back.
So the second day after they didn't provide anything in the morning, I'm like, all right, dude, I'm getting my money back. We're packing up. Like, we can stay and enjoy the show if we want. We have tickets, like whatever. Second day, none of their artists show up. No, there's 4 DJs. There's supposed to be 50 throughout the day. So there's no music. And I finally, the person running the event is running around like a mad woman. Finally track her down, tell her I want my money back, like right now. I'm leaving. And she's like, well, I just had 2 other people leave and I gave them their money back, so I don't have any money. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have any money? I gave you like almost $1,000 for this spot. Like you have my money. Like there's no way. So then she's like, well, I'll just do everything I can to like accommodate, like whatever. And I was like, hey, but if I'm not happy, I'm expecting my money back at the end of this weekend. And she's like, okay, that's fine. So she does everything she can. She gets me a booth, gets me like a bunch of crap. No one's at the festival the second day because no artists are there, so everyone leaves, goes home. So there's 1,000 people the first night, 200 the next night. Nothing.
That's a horror story, bro.
Horror story. Everything. I can't even like explain this good because everything went wrong.
So you guys, did you fly there or drive?
Drive 6 hours.
So you're in another state with all this product. You pay all this money, and it's just fucked.
It's all fucked at this point. And then so at this point, I'm frustrated, but people are coming to the booth. People are buying juice. People love us.
Yeah.
Like they're legit loving it. You know what I mean? The few people that are there.
Yeah.
So I stick it out. I end up making about $500, which is about half what I spent, minus food, gas, time.
I was about to say, like, you can't even.
And then middle of the night,
get this.
Middle of the night, my business partner in the campground goes to move his. So we paid for a good camping spot because we didn't want to be with everyone in the main area because we knew it was going to be a shit show. He left his car down there because he didn't know where our camping spot was. He goes to move it at 9 o'clock at night, watches some dude hop in his truck, whip it in reverse, and just smash into the side of his car. In like an F-150. This is Bam's car. The dude hops out. The dude's pupils are this big around. He's clearly tripping on like a ton of acid. Has no idea what's going on.
Dude, tripping on acid smashes into homie's car.
And this is after we got screwed on all this money. So we're all butthurt.
Fucked.
Well, our campsite is sitting there in silence drinking beer. You know what I mean? We're not having a good time. Like everyone's bummed about like and then this happens. Bam comes back and Bam he gets angry when he's angry, man. He's like I swear to God, this man could have punched a hole in a tree at this point. And yeah, dude. And so he doesn't call the cops or anything because we're not trying to like screw over some dude. You know
yeah, but is he gonna pay for it?
Yeah. So we got the dude's information. The dude's buddy, luckily, was sober and gave us all of his friends' information. He's like, I'm really sorry. He's normally a responsible dude. He's just out of his mind right now.
That's chill.
And so it's chill. Like it happens. You know what I mean?
Did he take care of it?
He did take care of it in the end, but it was
so
a
chill.
huge headache.
Yeah, but I respect the not getting the cops involved and helping a homie out. Yeah. But that. Yeah, at least he paid for it though.
So then let's fast forward a little bit because then the rest of it is all bad, but it's probably not worth going into. The next day, one more thing. Bam, we get maybe an hour to home. We're an hour down the road. Bam's car overheats.
The one that got hit?
Mm-hmm.
So it's drivable.
But it starts overheating. He has to stop every 45 minutes the entire way home and fill it up with water. The entire way, every 45, it would overheat. You'd have to open the radiator, fill it with water or whatever. Radiator, you know. And yeah, dude, it sucked. It took him hours to get home. I felt so bad. I was home at like 6 and he got home at like 10.
That's fucked.
So bad. I felt so bad for him.
So after that, did you guys kind of close doors on the e-cig gig? Or?
So no, at this point we were all butthurt, but we had all this product that was perfect and people were loving it. And at this point I had more. My Facebook page was active. I was getting messages all the time from people that were out of state trying to order my juice. But then this was right at the same time that Utah put in the law where I can't sell juice on the internet anymore. You can't ship it.
I remember that.
Same restrictions as alcohol here and tobacco, I think.
Yeah. And then the FDA was getting involved.
Exactly. So then my website, right after I finally had people coming to my website got shut down. And then at this point, we were just like, we'll do anything. So we started selling it by hand again. I started literally going right into stores and just being like,
that works when you're 16, but when you're trying to make a company happen, you need big bulk orders and distributors. And
when a 22-year-old dude comes up to you and he's trying to hand sell you juice, it just seems sketchy.
Yeah,
you know
it does.
It's just like, I can't have a real customer base like this. Like, unless you already know me, you're never going to trust me. And then so finally I got a couple distribution deals. sold a little bit of juice after just talking to people, got some of the product out the door, and then I got a contract with the Saltaire that
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
could go and vend at any one of their shows.
Oh rad.
Yeah, so and it was amazing, dude. I went there for a couple big shows, and we would just have a booth right next to the stage, dude. People walk by, grab some juice, go outside.
Oh rad.
That was amazing. But then, so we burned through all of our product that we had. We sold everything, and then we sat down. We all talked about it. Like, was this last year worth it? You know what I mean? Like everything we went through. Like, do we think it's gonna get better with more regulation, with big, like, do we think this is a sustainable business idea? And we all kind of decided like probably not. And I believe that we made the right decision.
Yeah.
Because
You don't regret it?
I don't regret it. No, I miss it, but I don't regret it because of the regulations that have happened since then.
Pretty rough.
Pretty rough. So they changed the size of the labels, how big the warning labels have to be on the actual label of a juice bottle. I would have had to redo my entire inventory. That right there could have put me out of business. So I don't regret it.
Yeah, people don't realize stuff like that. Like when you're starting a business, it all seems fun and games, but as soon as you get into regulations, codes, and just taxes and payroll and all that stuff, it really can get complicated, and things can really get thrown into the mix quickly. But
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, working, man, working.
Always working.
That's something that I challenge with in my life, is like trying to work as much as I can to make as much money as possible at a young age. But then you have a life, and you have like things you have to do in your life, relationships, and hanging out with friends and having hobbies, so you're not just overloading yourself with work and just getting burnt out, which happens to a lot of people in a lot of industries. I mean, you saw it in YouTube. Huge with the daily videos. Like everyone, once the daily video thing just got huge, everyone was like, okay, I'm doing daily videos, and they did it for a few months and just burned themselves out. I mean, the guy I was interning for, while I was interning for him, he was doing daily videos, and he gave himself a year goal. Shout out Sawyer Hartman. And
shout out.
In the year, he did it consistently every single day for a whole year. But by the end of it, he's like, man, that is so not healthy. It's not a healthy way of content creation. You can't be creative if you're just trying to just like sustain this goal that's not necessarily realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense to me, dude.
You have days that you're sick. You have days that you just can't do stuff.
Can you imagine going to a 9 to 5, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day? Like,
it's not 9 to 5. You're 9 to 5 filming.
That's what I mean.
And then you're 5 to 1 in the morning editing.
And
then you're again. So I mean, what I was noticing, even with me helping him, it was a 15 to 20 hour thing. I mean, we would have to switch off with some things, help each other out places. But I mean, he was putting in obviously most of the workload for his YouTube channel, but it was insane. I mean, yeah, working
like that, it can't be healthy to do anything that much. There's no way that you're ever going to be at your peak when you're doing something constant.
That
you know
much,
what I mean?
Right? You're not putting out content that's making people go, holy shit. You're putting out just consistent content, which is good. Let alone putting out consistent content where your audience is expecting quality content every single day. But then you have to have a relationship. You have to, well, if you have a girlfriend, you have to make her happy, and there's a bunch of stuff that comes with that.
That's complicated.
Like I've noticed, just trying to put out as much freelance work as I do for other people, and then trying to create content for myself, sustaining a relationship in that. I mean, it's hard. Like, it's really hard.
It is. I mean, even just working a full-time job and going to school, just that. I mean,
bro, you work a full-time job, go to school, and make beats and stream on Twitch.
Yeah, and I'm dedicated to every single one. You know what I mean?
It's insane.
Every single one is, I have to do 100% because why do it if I'm not doing it 100%?
Yeah, plus the house and girlfriend. I mean, that's a lot of shit you got on your plate. And trying to like, how do you maintain the stress? I mean, most people live at home and go to school, or live at school. Like, how do you maintain everything with all that? I mean, that.
Honestly, dude, like, probably not in the healthiest ways a lot of the time. Like I just, kind
No
of
sleep.
no sleep, just kind of internalize it a lot. Like probably not the greatest. I wouldn't suggest doing what I do. If I don't know how to say, I don't
Here's
want
the
to say it like
reality
that,
though,
but
like not to be the Gary Vee of the situation, but
mhm,
like the reality is if you're not willing to put that hour, I mean, how many times are we on Discord till 1 in the morning, and while we're gaming I'm editing, and then
mhm.
past that, you'll see a YouTube video the next morning, and then you'll see like that's the reality is if you're not willing to put in that much time and effort, you can't have those
And
results.
and that's exactly what it is. It's that I want to through my 30s, I want to drive a nice car. I want to live in a nice house. I want to do what I want to do in my free time. I want to do what I want with my life.
Have enough money to be able to do things with your kid,
Exactly.
not let your wife be working during the pregnancy. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, that's something I've noticed about getting older. It's kind of weird. You start looking at things in like bigger year spans and like time frames, right? And
Uh-huh.
look at it as a big picture. And I want to have a kid probably 28 to 30,
That's what I'm
right?
thinking too.
So I can be old, I can be like young enough to where when he's old enough, we can do things together
Exactly.
that I'm still interested in or that he's interested in. But I want to have the money and the resources to be able to let him do it and let me do it and not have to be at work every day and those kind of things. So if you look at that, right, I'm only 22.
Mhm.
I got 6 years to when I want to have a kid.
Mhm.
By that time, when I want to have a kid, I probably want to have a house. I want to have a good amount in savings.
Mhm.
I want to, do all those things, have some fun toys in the midst of all of it. I mean, that's a lot of money, bro. That somebody has to. It's kind of insane. Like
It's
if
insane.
you don't plan for it, you could get really behind.
Well, and here's the thing too is like I want to be able to like I want to be able to afford my child's birth. You know what I mean? Like
That alone,
that
yeah.
alone like
And
yeah.
on this topic, no means am I saying
Mhm.
people who have kids at a young age or people who
No,
do
no,
things
no.
at a young age. I mean, dude, all the respect in the world to those
Absolutely.
couples and people, or shout out to the people who are doing it by
Yeah,
themselves where the
shout
other
out.
half splits off. But like,
That life's not for me though.
that life is not for me,
And
bro.
if I can control it, then yeah, I'm
I'm
not.
gonna do
Yeah.
everything in my power to control it,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna be a fucking dumbass and do some shit that's gonna, like I'm such a big picture thinker. I'm
Me
that
too.
fucker at a party where if I drink a little too much, I'm like, okay, I'm getting there. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna like shout out. I'm not like I start setting all these like parameters so I don't fuck up
Uh-huh.
because I've seen so many people, and maybe it's because we're from the party year scene, but
Yeah.
I've seen so many people do dumbass shit when they're fucked up that has so much more complications down the road that fucks up so much shit.
Can I just say one thing real quick, and that's shout out Joe, cause you know exactly what we're talking about.
I don't know where you're going with that.
That's it, dude. Just shout out Joe,
Insider?
insider,
Easter egg.
Easter egg. He'll know what I'm talking about.
Gaming. Speaking of Easter eggs,
Gaming, dude. What is gaming?
your Twitch scene has been kind of popping. I've seen all the boys on the Twitch.
I've been trying to grow it, dude. I've gotten it's more than what I had yesterday, not as much as I'll have tomorrow.
We talked about this a little bit earlier before the podcast, but I'm a little bit over Twitch. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason I say this because I wasn't doing it correctly, so I beat myself up for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I spent so much time and so much effort trying to put consistent streams out over the last 2 years. I mean, compared to my growth, for example, I streamed for 2 years consistently, and for 6 months of that, I streamed almost every day. And I was putting all this time, all this effort, promoting it in all these different ways. And then I convinced my girlfriend to get on Twitch. And I'm like, you could do your yoga stuff and healthy nutrition cooking.
I did the same thing.
Right? And so she gets on Twitch because it was blowing up, IRL streaming and girls on Twitch, and just gamer dudes wanted to see that. She gets on and within 2 weeks grows bigger than me
Mm-hmm.
gets more consistent viewers than me, was getting
Uh-huh.
more subscriptions, everything. Got like literally, is it verified or
Partnered or
partnered
affiliate.
or affiliate?
Affiliate
Yeah, she
probably.
got affiliate in the first week.
Yeah.
And I was like, it took me a year and a half to get that. So
Same thing happened to me.
that discouraged me, and I kind of went away from Twitch for a little bit. And these last few months, I've kind of jumped back on lightly, but I'm not completely sold on it. Like, my good friend Harris Heller, who runs Alpha Gaming, a company I used to work for, will still do and will continue to. I mean, it's just like family there, but he's grown insane,
Insane.
and he takes a different approach, which I think is the right approach, and that's something I'm going to share and that he shares on his YouTube,
Mhm.
where he gives advice, tips, and tricks for streaming. But and you said it earlier to me, and it stuck out completely. It was, if you're streaming for viewers, then just leave Twitch.
Mhm.
If you're streaming to try to get big on Twitch and you're going to start out on Twitch, just
Just give up now. Save yourself the headache. If you're streaming on if you're trying to use Twitch every day to grow on Twitch, give up now.
it's the multi-platform
Mm-hmm.
cross promotion
Mm-hmm.
that brings viewers into Twitch.
Absolutely.
And that's something that Harris killed it at. The Alpha Gaming YouTube channel is growing tremendously. I think it grew like 30,000 in like 2 months, which is good.
Insane.
I mean,
That's insane growth.
right now it's hard to grow on YouTube, especially as like a new channel, because people are
The
so
algorithm.
committed to these bigger channels and the algorithms. And just shout out to Harris for really grinding it out. That kid, I mean, he was streaming 5 years ago when I first met him, and
Oh, he's worked for what he has, from as far as I can tell. So
he's put in more work than anyone I know on Twitch. So
yeah.
that being said, as far as what he did with the multi-platform, he put a bunch of videos out on YouTube about his like tips and tricks about his channel, and then when people would tune in to learn the tips and tricks, they would also learn about his channel, and which was becoming a trusted source. So people became really confident in that channel, and it grew really quickly.
And from what I see, and from there too, he hit this really cool like inverse relationship between his stream and his YouTube. So he's giving streaming advice on YouTube. So people, of course, are gonna want to go to his stream on Twitch and be like, "This guy giving me advice, is he popular? Like, should I even trust him?" And then in a weird way, he got popular by people wondering if he was popular, kind of, in my opinion, because I bet a lot of those people clicked on his stream just to see if this guy knows what he's talking about, and Harris is a good streamer, so they stuck around.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and which in that itself, and like that platform of business or whatever you want to call it, like that's a really good strategy to use across anything, like anywhere in business, right? It's like, okay, if that's your end goal and everyone's doing this one thing to try to get there, it's like, what can I do that's just different enough and maybe isn't the way that people have done it in the past? Like, that's not the way that Ninja grew. Ninja grew because he was a professional player, and he's been streaming before Twitch was even Twitch.
Right.
And so then when Twitch came along, he was one of the first people on there and grew just because of consistency.
And I think there's also kind of a weird exception to the rule for people that are, super high level gameplay. I think that there is an exception there where you probably can grow organically on Twitch. If you're as good as, I don't know who the best players are in Apex or whatever, but if you're the next Shroud, then you probably will grow because you're the next Shroud, and that's the level of gameplay that you're putting out.
There's two types of streamers. Yeah. There's entertainment and kind of having a relationship, and then there's just pure skill.
Right.
And if you're purely good, you're not necessarily interacting with your chat. You're just like, you're gaming with your team. You're probably on a professional team already, which you're getting promotion there. So it's different. And that's something in itself for people to just kind of analyze if you're looking at getting into streaming. It's, what are you trying to be? If you're trying to be an entertainer, work on creating multiple platforms in which you're entertaining on, and then cross promote each platform with each other, in which your followers, if they are loyal followers, they'll watch you on any platform, whether it's a YouTube video, a stream, a podcast, whatever you're doing, they want to be involved in it.
And that's, even with my small fan base I have, my subscribers on Twitch, if I go live on YouTube, they're there on YouTube as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just my Twitch channel has grown more through my YouTube channel growing than it ever did through organic growth.
That's what I've noticed with my YouTube, with my Instagram. Once my Instagram started growing, and I don't know why, dude. I never really got into like the links and the swipe ups and the gifs and like.
I still don't understand them, to be honest. Whenever someone has one of those, I never know which way to go.
So I started doing some research, and as soon as I got into it, I started realizing when I would post stuff on my Instagram where it'd be like swipe up to watch this video or swipe up to watch this stream, I got so much more engagement because people watching your stories, it's
right
easy,
there.
just boom. And before I'd be like, oh, go look at my new YouTube channel, and I'd type in www.youtube.com Scooter Cooper. But for somebody to look at that, say, okay, close out of Instagram, it's not gonna happen.
Oh.
And so that in itself, something I learned is learn your instruments, like learn your tools, and like learn them to the fullest extent, and like leverage off of them. Because if you're not, you're just wasting time and energy. In which, like, if you could get an extra 10 viewers on your stream by doing a swipe up to watch my stream on your Instagram story, why wouldn't you do that every time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that right there is the way to grow too, because you're not going to get an extra 10 viewers just from being on Twitch.
But you get an extra 10 viewers plus your 6 that are already watching, then that bumps you up, and then people are seeing you faster, and it's a continuous growth. And when you do it at you're good. If you continue to do it all the time, I think people, I mean, I'm speaking to the choir, and I'm speaking to myself as I'm talking to you, right? Because it's like I need to work on this more myself as well. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, by no means am I professional,
and by no means anyone take this advice as like we're absolutely correct. We know that we're correct. Like this.
I don't know shit. I'm dumb as fuck.
I believe that
I'll be the first to admit it.
I don't know anything. I'm just winging everything I do. You think that but I do believe that there is one strategy we haven't talked about to getting popular on Twitch, and it's a very it's a long strategy, but I believe it works. It's where you only play games that have maybe 10 people streaming them. And then you're always number one. So I play a lot of racing games.
Okay.
Because I have a driving simulator, and I stream driving simulator on Twitch. And there's a couple of games that I really like that on the average day have one person streaming it at most. So I stream this game, and I'll have 15 people watching, but it's a popular game that's been around for a long time, and it still has 300 or 400 people that play it every day. So people come every single day. That every time I stream that game, I get one new follower. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
So I believe there's a strategy there too, but I don't think it's a good strategy because one follower every stream is not realistically going to get you anywhere fast.
But I was about to say though, don't let that discourage you, because if it's one follower a day, guys, like look, I call it the butterfly effect. But if it's one follower a day and you do that for a whole year, obviously not every day, but call it 300 followers in that year. Those 300 will talk and tell 3 of their friends. And by the next year, that 300 will turn into 900. And that doesn't seem like a lot. But then the next year, which I always say, if you're trying to be successful in anything, 3 years minimum. I talk to my girlfriend about this all the time. It's like, if you want to get into anything, it's 3 years minimum. I didn't start making money with the videography and everything till like my 4th year in. So it's like,
and with music, they say it's 5 to 10.
I could see that.
Yeah, people say 5 years is when you should start putting out music. 10 years is when you'll start making money. So.
And I'm also the guy that kind of says, fuck the system to an extent, right? It's like, okay, you're telling me 5 to 10 years, bitch, I'm going to do it in 2 to 4.
I'll work twice as hard.
Right?
Yeah,
and so that's where I'm at. And that's something that I've preached, and my freelance work has kind of got in the middle of that, because a lot of people will be like, oh, okay, you're preaching that. They'll go to my YouTube channel or whatever, Instagram, they'll be like, oh, you're not posting every single day, you're not doing a video every single day. And it's like, I get that, but I'm also doing freelance every single day.
I'm working.
Because there's a balance, right? I don't want to work a 9 to 5 at all, right? Like I consider my freelance, like my film and photography, my 9 to 5, but I work it in the hours I want to work it. I kind of got a little spacious there. Forgot where I was going with that.
I mean, all I know is I heard 9 to 5, and let me just say, like, 9 to 5 is the worst thing ever. And I believe in our economy that having one source of income is no longer viable. And I think that
Agreed.
everyone should strive for passive income from business or just from saving money, and everyone should strive for multiple sources of income.
I think
I think
we just got
three
lazy,
minimum.
dude. We
I
got
think, yeah.
lazy. Like as a society, everyone's like, "Oh, you go
Well,
work your 5 hours or your 10 hours, then you go home and you
mhm.
relax and they've made it a thing like to sit on your couch and watch late night TV shows that they have scheduled, the really good ones at 6 to 10 o'clock. Like
Yeah,
it's
but
it's a system.
I kind of think so, but I also think the system is kind of broken from the top. So like if you look at other cultures, like in like Japan, let's say, the owner of Nintendo when he was alive, he made 15 times what the average employee made, which sounds like a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The average CEO in the United States makes 300 times what their average employee makes.
Hmm.
And I think that is part of the problem. I think that people make, I mean, there's an argument for minimum wages or whatever, but I don't think people are paid what they're worth in today's society. I think,
100%, especially in
yeah,
the food industry
especially in the food industry. I think that,
and serving and
you know,
yeah.
people rage about whatever minimum wage. I think that people should make $15 an hour because that's what someone's life is worth at least. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's sad when you have these people or these young adults trying to, and I hear it all the time in my friends, and they're like, "Oh, I made $200 this week," or "Oh, I made $400 this week,"
oh
and I'm
yeah,
like, it makes me cringe because like that's not how you should live life. That's
no.
not how it should be.
Oh, and you know their boss might not even pick up $200 if he dropped it on the ground. Like you know that for
Yeah,
a fact. Like,
when you hear for example at like Deer Valley, or not, maybe Deer Valley, maybe it's Park City Ski Resort,
uh-huh.
but one of their restaurants does like $50,000 just during the lunch hours,
Jeez.
not dinner. Like dinner's probably somewhere 75.
Yeah, probably more. Yeah,
Average pay
crazy.
there is $9.50 to $11 an hour.
And how are they gonna lie and act like, oh, we can't afford to pay people
But
more?
and when you have your employees working this hard to make the customer satisfaction, and like you see that a lot with companies, and I think things are changing, especially with the amount of people that are making their own income and
Mm-hmm.
creating their own businesses, and these millennials who are looking at the system and going, "This is flawed. I'm going to create my own,
Right.
make it more organic, more healthy." Whatever, and then hire my friends and pay them more. Like there's a trend here.
I think it'll be the way because good faith with your employees can be the difference between failing and succeeding.
100%.
100%.
That goes with athletes to sponsorships
Mm-hmm.
to everything. It's like you treat them right, and I promise you'll get 10 times back.
And if your employee goes home at the end of the day happy, he doesn't even have to be happy about work or whatever. But if he's happy just because his life is good, because he makes enough money to have a good life, he's gonna be better at work every single day. He's gonna do better. He's gonna sell
100%.
better. He's gonna be more creative.
Yeah,
Whatever it
I've seen a
is.
few things like companies companies coming together, the employees and all buying another employee a car.
Yeah.
And you see stuff like that in the community that those companies have. They're the company that will stay open for 150, 200 years.
Right. Absolutely. And yeah, and they'll be the company that. I mean, I can't even. Oh.
Leo just
Hi.
got here.
Hi.
Dog came to say what's up.
Hi, dog.
Oh, hi, Leo.
Hey, bud.
Oh, he's excited.
You're so excited. I don't know what I was saying, but
we're just talking business, acting like we know what we're talking about.
yeah, exactly. Acting like we know what we're talking about. I have all this experience.
Life. What is life experience? Well, I can tell you, continue the beat making, continue the YouTube, continue everything. I see the growth. I see it every time you release a new beat. Everything gets better. Everything gets better with time. The professionalism, just the level of everything goes up. And the more you and me and anyone else who can continue to put consistent content out there, I'm telling you, it's not about the end goal. It's about the journey and the people you meet along the journey. And it doesn't matter if you get to 1,000 subscribers, to 1,000,000, as long as you're doing cool shit and you're having fun while you're doing it.
It's all about the good time.
And you love what you're doing, most importantly, like, it doesn't matter. The goal or the end result will happen. And it may not be the way you're perceiving it right now, but it'll be there. Like I know, like for the little goals I've set for myself, from what I've seen people around me. I mean, it's all about the positivity and what you're putting out there.
Absolutely. It's, if you believe in what you're doing and you work for it, then it'll happen.
I love it. I want to see more beats out of you, dude.
Absolutely, dude. That's the goal. The goal this summer, I'm going to go hard. I want beats at least, I'm thinking at least one a week, but I want to shoot for 2 a week as long as it's not hindering my creative process. And then I want to have at least one video a month that's not beat related. I want it to be a studio tour. I want it to be, I don't even know.
We're kind of getting into the tech videos, talking about that.
And I'm struggling too with, do I make a new channel or do I continue with the Slumped Beats?
I think you do the Slumped Beats.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
I think people, again, it's creating a relationship with your audience, right? Something they can hold on to. And I think if you're not just that person who just puts out a bunch of beats with these either cool videos to them or just these cool anime pictures or whatever it is, if you're not just that person, if you're somebody who, I don't know where I'm going with this, I'm rambling.
It's all right.
But if you can create content that people can connect to, where it's studio tours, lifestyle, maybe you're giving them advice. I think it's kind of the same thing that we saw with Harris, like with the Twitch. If you can kind of bridge the two, I think you'll see more loyal fan base.
Right. And again, it's just all about connecting with your fan base. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think it's a good idea.
I do. It's the dream. The dream is the dream. And, oh, man, you never know how you're going to get there. But if you do, it's all worth it in the end.
Well,
I don't even know what to say at this point. The last 5 minutes of us talking have been about
random
I think
bullshit.
We've said nothing. Have we said anything in the last 5 to 10 minutes?
I don't think we said anything worth listening to.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll let you guys be the judge.
Yeah. Hit that dislike button if we were just rambling.
Make sure you subscribe. Hang out for more Tell Your Story podcast. Again, guys, open format. Talk about anything and everything. Just having people on to have a good time. So if you like these videos, if you want to see more of them, make sure you subscribe. And we'll see you on Sunday for the... Ooh, what's coming out on Sunday? I think we have the Bali, Indonesia, the second video coming out. And that is where we go to a baby's blessing. So we get dressed up in traditional Balinese attire, and we go out and we experience it firsthand, in which they allowed me to carry my 1DX through the whole entire thing. So I think you guys are going to be really stoked on it. It's, I don't know. I'm stoked on it. You'll be stoked on it. So
I'm stoked on it.
With that being said, thank you for coming on to the podcast today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Again, this is something new. We're kind of just figuring it out right now.
Out as we go. It'll change as it progresses, I'm sure, but always for the better.
Gotta put content out there. Remember that, guys. So we'll see you next time.
Last thing, shout out Anji, shout out Kerosene, shout out Young Kiz, shout out Lil Pinky.
Gotta get the boys.
Shout out Trevin Ashton. That boy's killing it. Shout out Ender. Shout out Joseph Strange. Gotta get Joseph Strange in there. Shout out everyone that I've made music with.
The boys.
Yeah, the boys.
I respect.
Shout out everyone.
All the homies. So we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.